You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 7th meeting for the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for May 7th, 2025. Would you please stand and we recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Glidden.
Here.
Ms. Sperling.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Present.
Mr. Labus.
Here.
Ms. Ward.
Here.
Vice President.
The minutes of the previous meeting have all been sent to us. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of the previous meeting of April 16th? Do we need a motion, please?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And we have for our information, the board's information, the Zoological Society's 2024 annual report. Any comments? Questions or comments? They annually give us a report, so we have accepted it.
That's nice. Yeah.
We don't need a motion or anything. All right. New business. So the Washington Park Zoo event proposal.
Yes, Zoo Director Jamie Huss couldn't be here tonight, but she was approached by one of the Indianapolis 500 Festival princesses. These are stewards that go out into the community and promote Indiana, promote the Indy 500. So she'd like to do a program with this woman. There's 33 college students that are elected into that position each year. So one of them wants to come to Michigan City and do a program at the zoo. Jamie did a good job outlining everything that she would come in and do. So it's going to be a 30-minute talk on what it is to be a good leader, community service, being a role model, how Indy 500 technology is becoming more eco-friendly. Then there's a story time and a craft time. So there's no cost to us. So I would recommend we do this. It's something different, out of the ordinary, and no cost, which is great.
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
Oh, sorry, sir. I think this is great. I love just that beginning one when it's talking about the presentation and the welcome, what it's like to be a leader, promoting something like that. I think it's so great. Yeah, this looks fabulous. Thanks so much, Ms. Shannon.
Jamie.
Thanks so much, Jamie.
Any other comments from the public? We need to adopt this in the form of a motion then, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the Washington Park Zoo event proposal.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The placement of the Waterbird sculpture at Hanson Park.
Yes, as most of you know, I'm the treasurer of the Michigan City Public Art Committee, and we've decided to purchase a sculpture that we have been leasing since 2017. There's a picture of it on the second page. The mayor has agreed to purchase this through ARPA Neighborhood Beautification Funds. So it's a great opportunity for us to add it to our collection. And our committee voted to put it at Hanson Park because it is a water bird and Hanson Park is on Trail Creek. So I think it's a great location. If the board approves, our maintenance department would be able to move it. We need to do it quickly. We have another sculpture coming in about 2 weeks. It's going to replace this location on Franklin Street. The sculpture is 9 foot tall, 7 feet deep, and 2 feet wide. So it'll be pretty noticeable addition to the Hanson Park neighborhood.
Where is it presently?
It's presently on 5th and Franklin Street.
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public? What's your pleasure?
I motion to approve the placement of the Waterbird sculpture at Hanson Park.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
We have the revised contract language for rental halls regarding alcohol.
So a few months ago, we invited Charlie Keene and Matt Weber from General Insurance, who is the city's insurance provider, to one of our staff meetings. We had all of our directors present because there's always a lot of questions about insurance in our department. It's a complicated matter, and our insurance ranges from our halls to our contracts that we're working on. So we just asked them to come in and explain what umbrella liability means, what the occurrence requirements are, why we're required to have all this in all of our contracts. And out of that, we realized that there are some non-ticketed events, and probably mostly weddings, that are being held at our halls, and some of them are now having cash bars. That changes our liability. Because they're not giving alcohol out to their guests, they're charging them for it. So our insurance carriers came up with language that they would like inserted into our contract. And pretty much it's just that they have to provide commercial liquor liability insurance. They have to have a catering license for the premises. They have to have an excise event permit for the event and a licensed bartender. I think this is a great idea. This covers the city. And I think this is becoming more and more popular as the price of weddings and parties continues to go up. So I would recommend that we approve their recommendation and add it to both Senior Center and Krieger Memorial Hall contracts.
Any comments from the board?
I have two. The catering license, does that mean that people can't make their own food if they want to have a party there?
No, so it's an alcohol catering license.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Say I hired Leeds to come in and do the bar
Yeah.
for my wedding. Leeds will have a permit for their premises. And if they have an additional catering permit, they can go off premises.
Yeah, from the health department.
So yes, the
Okay.
food's still the same. You
Yeah.
can do what you want.
And then I thought it said something, if there was no alcohol there, then it said they still had to have liquor. There's something in there. I thought it said still had to have a liquor liability.
Not if there's no liquor.
Well, I wouldn't think so, but I thought that's what I read.
It was so small I had to blow it up.
No.
And I didn't blow up that part.
I don't know. I was actually reading it on my phone.
That's even worse. What are we at here?
It was-
Non-ticketed events. Oh, that's what it is. So there's non-ticketed events. If you're having a cash bar, these are the new requirements. Private functions, meaning there's no ticket sales at the door to get in. It's recommended that the leasee acquire host liquor liability, but we don't require it.
Mhm. But wasn't there one that said when there was no alcohol, that you had to have liquor liability?
Function.
It was the paragraph under the one that said you had to, if you were having liquor, you had to
Ticketed
have
with
liquor.
cash bar.
Sorry, I thought, because I read it over like twice. Okay.
Oh, okay, I do see where that. Ticketed events without alcohol, leasing must
Yeah.
provide a certificate of commercial general liability and liquor liability. They don't need liquor, so,
Okay.
yeah, we'll correct that.
have, Shannon. They both, it's identical language, but they both reference paragraph 14. Each contract has a different paragraph 14. I'm assuming that they want.
It's the compliance.
Fine, 90.
Yep. So this one, yeah.
So 15.
So liquor comes off.
Senior center.
This needs to be, yep, number 15. Thank you, Laura.
And then how do they, if someone does then need to get a liquor liability permit, do they go through their own homeowner's insurance to?
Either that, it's
Okay.
probably more common that they're gonna have, a liquor caterer come in and they hold that.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we recently had an event in Burnham Brewery, catered the bar.
Mhm.
So they have to get a 1-day permit
Mhm.
through excise. They had to have their catering license on scene, and they provided the liquor liability.
Yeah.
As part of their contract to do the bar.
Okay.
You probably can get it, a rider, through your homeowner's insurance.
Mhm.
But again, you're not gonna be able to have the catering license
Yeah.
to do it. So this really forces people to go out and get an establishment
Yeah.
that's legal and has all the legal
Right.
requirements and liability.
So they can't get a
coverage.
family member to bartend if they're charging,
Not if they're
basically.
selling.
Right. Okay.
So the changes are in number 18, the second to the last line, right?
18 on 1 and 19.
And what's the second change?
The second change is on the senior center contract. It refers, item 19 refers back to paragraph 14. It should be referring back to paragraph 15 of this contract. So we'll make those changes internally.
Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, I have a question. If somebody's coming in to rent one of the facilities, do we have something that we can hand them that shows them how to attain all of the necessary licenses? Or, I mean, it's some kind of direction that, hey, this is what you need to do in order to.
So for the cash bar, our direction is going to be hire an establishment that has all these, because like I said, a normal person isn't going to be able to get a catering license.
Right.
You have to have a liquor license to get it.
Okay.
So if you want to do a cash bar, this is like our recommendation, not our recommendation, our requirement. Once this is passed, that's how you need to do it.
It is all laid out in writing is what I'm saying. That somebody, okay, because I was saying, if you told me that while I'm standing in your office and then I left, I'd be lost. I was just wondering, is it?
Most people aren't going to know what all these licenses mean, but we'll let them know. Just you can contact. There's many restaurants and bars in Michigan City that cater.
Okay.
Cater liquor and food, but this is specifically for alcohol. I'll help you out if you're free. Don't worry.
Yeah, and like I said,
I'll walk you
just,
through.
if you had something that you could hand to somebody that said, or this is what you need to do to meet the qualifications of what you're doing,
Which is in the paragraph.
which is in it's there. All right, I'm good with that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any comments from the public?
Hello, board. Scott Melanturn, Kenwood Place. I got a little lost in all that. What if it's not a cash bar? What are the requirements for?
Then you're not required to have the excise permit, the catering permit, the liquor liability.
Any of it?
Right. It's just our liability as a city changes once money starts
Charging?
changing.
Yeah. Just that clarification. Thank you. It sounds like really sensible change in language for us.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments? Then do we need to adopt them separately or?
The board.
I motion to approve the revised contract for the rental hall agreement regarding alcohol at both Krieger Memorial Hall and the Senior Center.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the evaluation services contract for North Point Pavilion concession area.
The concession lease for Sunset Grill expires on November 15th of this year. So I'm starting the process to do the legal bids for the concession area. The law requires us to get 2 separate appraisals. So tonight I'm asking that you approve the contract with Valuation Services for the first appraisal. Our attorney did review it and approved it on April 23rd. So to move forward, we would need the board to approve, and then also in your motion, allow me to sign the contract because they put my name on it instead of Tim's.
So we're required by law to do that because
Any lease of property, any lease of city property has to have 2 rental appraisals.
okay, how about Millennium Park? We lease that or just,
That's not a long-term lease, that's just a year-to-year MOU. So we can take like the average of those 2 leases. In the case of like the greenhouse, we didn't get any bids, and we got 1 bid, and the bidder was under 90% of what the 2 averaged out to be. There's a law for that, so we have to advertise. So pretty much we're just going through the process, but this is the beginning of it. This lease also, this board, moving forward, I mean, it's a long process. We're starting early. If you decide to go with a 5-year lease, once we get bids in, as you did previously, then that has to go to the city council as well. So anything over 3 years has to have council approval.
the present lease has been 3?
5. The present lease has council approval. What's today? Yeah, I think that's it.
So they're appraising both the Sunset Grill, North Point Pavilion, the whole thing.
They're appraising the lease space. So that's the upstairs, and then the concession rooms downstairs.
Okay.
So not the entire building, just,
Just the space.
yeah. What's the value of leasing that space out?
Okay.
And that's to prevent, government units from saying, hey, Will, you want the concession stand for $10 a month?
Mhm.
They want to
Yes, he
see
does.
2 appraisals, keep it fair.
Yeah.
So we're just following the law process.
And so you mentioned 1 company there, but so there's 2 companies that are going to appraise it? Is that what you're saying? When you
Yes,
say
there's
2?
going to be a second company that's going to come in and
Okay. Oh,
appraise
this is
it.
the first.
This is just the
Okay,
first
gotcha.
that they have their own contract.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably be bringing you the next one at your next meeting. So
Mhm.
we're still negotiating with them.
And I saw that they're asking for P&Ls and all of that. Do we have those from Sunset Grill? 3 years of P&Ls, current P&L?
We don't have their P&Ls. We have their monthly tax statements. That's what they pay us off of.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they pay us 10% of their gross.
Okay.
And the appraisers are going to have a difficult time with this because there aren't any comparable properties
That's what I was gonna.
that sit on the lakefront, that have the view that we have.
There is the state park.
Mhm.
They have a beautiful restaurant there.
There's not a lot for them, when they appraise, they want to have a dozen counts. So, yeah, I'll be curious to see what they come
Yeah.
back with.
Well, I hope they compare it to that one because it's.
And we went through this process previously. Any other questions from the board? Any comments from the public? What's your pleasure?
I move that we approve the valuation services contract for North Point Pavilion concession area lease.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Have the new the new printer lease documents.
I would ask the board to table that tonight. It's the identical lease that we've had for the last 60 months that expired. I didn't present the last lease to the board, and there's some terms in there that I don't like. So I would like some time to talk to them, review that, and it's possible that we might not even renew. So I just want to investigate a little bit more.
We do need a motion to table the lease document printer agreement.
So this will be for both the agreement and the amendment, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure. Okay. I'll make a motion to table the new printer lease documents.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
We have golf course lesson fees, group and junior rates, and that we asked Pro to give us group and junior rates, and they are been handed out to us. Any questions? They're on the backside of.
Mr. President, can I read these out for the public?
Sure.
So the rates that are added are for juniors under 18 years old. They're 45-minute lessons. One session is $40. 3 sessions is $90. 5 sessions is $125. And then the adult group is 1 hour for 2 to 4 golfers. 1 session is $35 per golfer. 3 sessions, $30 per golfer, and 5 sessions, $25 per golfer. So those would be prepaid in advance sessions. Get a discount the more that you reserve.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
I have a quick question. I know we talked about this before, but with those lessons, is there like a limit to how many lessons that he can do so he can have time to manage the course? Or does he
There
take
is no
everything?
limit.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's going to be a careful balance because the golf lesson revenue comes back to the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to encourage lessons. However, the golf course has to be managed as well.
Right.
So I think he's doing a really good job right now,
Mhm.
building a good team,
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of training
Mm-hmm.
that was needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that will free up some of his time to do lessons.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a balance
Yeah.
of,
Okay.
it'll be a first year trial
Yep.
to see,
Sounds good.
you know, how comfortable he is with doing how many lessons.
So this is just a proposal for this year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, all fees come back to the board every October.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public or the board? We would need a motion then to approve the rates.
I'll make a motion to accept the golf course lesson fees, group and junior rates.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the Patriot Park Press Box Special Purchase Request.
Yes, so this is an emergency purchase. We have been trying to get a contractor to give us bids on the press box since November, maybe October. What happened with the press box is it has shifted off its foundation. It also had some water damage on the upper level that has rotted through the floor and the floor joists and part of the stairwell. So that's why it's considered emergency. Patriot Park's open right now. We have this building closed off to the public. This was reviewed by our attorney on April 29th. And we would ask that you approve it. The total cost is $36,700. And I believe you have the document in front of you, lists the entire scope of everything that needs to be done to make that building usable and safe again. And again, we could only find one contractor to bid on this. So kind of put us in a bind.
That was going to be my question. There was only one contractor. We could
We reached out to many.
reach out to multiples, but only this one responded.
Correct. And we keep all that on file. If we use a special purchase policy under Indiana state law, there's requirements. We have to keep this filed for 5 years. It has to be filed with the clerk's office. So yes, we do have the emails from the contractors that just denied the bid. They
Okay.
didn't want it for one reason or another.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Then what's your pleasure?
We'll make a motion that we accept the Patriot Park Press Box special purchase request.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the IDEM grant for water quality testing and notification.
This is our annual grant agreement with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, who gets funding through the Federal Beach Act grant. This money is used to test E. coli in Lake Michigan, in Washington Park, at Stop 1 and at Stop 7. Some of you will notice the funding has been drastically reduced this year. So the federal government reduced the amount that IDEM gets, meaning all the beach managers along Lake Michigan are getting less. So what this results in for us is, I think since we started the program almost 20 years ago, we've always had 3 daily water samples at Washington Park, 3 at Stop 1 and 1 at Stop 7. So that's been reduced to 1 sample at each location, but 7 days a week. Based on those results, then we have a notification program where we put signs up on the beach, you know, whether it's closed due to E. coli, in the yellow zone, which is caution, or green, which is open. We also have a call-in beach hotline, so you can call in before you come. We have an app, so you can get text messages. A lot of people travel from out of town. They want to know before they leave. It's also on our website. So Sanitary District does all the sampling for us and the lab work, and then the Park Department does the notification side. Laura, did you review this?
I did not.
I was going to say, I think every year we say it really doesn't matter because you cannot change this.
Yeah.
If you want the money, you have to sign a state agreement.
Yeah.
And this is like our 20th year, so we've not had any issues.
Any comments from the board?
And in the past, I think you said, I mean, there's not that many days that there's a problem, right, with the water.
Non-Michigan City, we
Yeah.
just had our beach managers meeting last week.
Mhm.
So there's 20 or so communities that belong to this program.
Mhm.
Last year, we only had 1 closure.
Yeah. So
We have one of the cleanest beaches in Northwest Indiana, and it just, a lot of it's just the way the lake slopes, and you know, it gets into like this mill areas.
Mhm.
There's piers and jetties, and a lot of sediment just sits there, where ours
Yeah.
kind of cleans itself out, which is nice.
Mhm.
But yeah, we have one of the cleanest in the
Yeah.
program.
Mhm.
We also have a lot of other methods that other cities aren't doing. Like we sanitize the beach with tines every day.
Mhm.
We don't allow feeding of wildlife on our beaches. We cover our trash cans so animals aren't foraging through the trash cans and then leaving droppings on the beach. So I think that's part of the reason why, is we just have a really robust management plan.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Any comments from the public?
Yes, hello, Board. Scott Nolan, 200 Kenwood Place. If I heard correctly, we went from 3 locations 3 times a day, or 9 total tests, to 3 tests a day.
We went from 7
Okay, 7. So we've had
to 3.
So we've had a 50% reduction.
Correct.
And I think it's important for the public to understand that's directly attributable what's happening in Washington and cutting of budgets. And this is how it affects people at the local level. And the people need to be aware of that we got something for our money in the past and it is being reduced. Luckily, we do have a clean beach, and those extra measures, it's really encouraging to hear that. But I think the public needs to understand this cut in E. coli testing is directly attributable to DOGE and the current administration in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why I asked the question. I just know from my history here that there haven't been that many events of problems. So, and what was the total amount that
The grant
how
amount,
much is the grant?
28,000, or I'm sorry, 8,000
Or 24.
or 24.
Yeah.
Last year it was like 28,135.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it fluctuates year to year, but it's never fluctuated
Mhm.
this much to where Michigan City's ever had to cut. We're a tier 1 beach, meaning that we are one of the beaches with the highest visitors seasonally. So we tend to get more of that pool of money.
Mhm.
So for us to get a cut this big, that's huge.
Mhm.
Yep.
Any other comments from the board? From the public? Then what's your pleasure?
Excuse me, can you include in your motion that I can sign the agreement electronically online? That's the only way to sign it.
I'll make a motion to accept the item grant for water quality testing and notification with the addition for Ms. Eason to digitally sign the grant.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the Park Department's 2025 first quarter report.
Did the board have a chance to look through it, and do you have any questions?
I have one question on with the zoo, the expenses were quite a bit, I mean, the revenue was higher, which was awesome, but the expenses were quite a bit higher. So was there something that changed with like payroll?
Talking about.
Sorry, I was getting to it. I'm back to it. It is on page 13. Top of page 13.
So if you look at the variance report that's at the end of this document, that's going to break down the personnel services and the contractual services by line item. So you can see in there that a lot of that was wages. So specifically, last year in the first quarter, we didn't have any seasonal people. Well, we had a few, but they worked 564 hours last year, first quarter. This year, they worked 1277. But you'll also see a reduction in our overtime budget because now we have seasonals. Our full-time staff isn't working over. One of the other major contributors to that was zoo food. We purchase in different quarters. This year, we purchased almost $19,000 more than last year.
I kind of figured because that was
And that just depends on when we run out and when we have freezer space, because we try to make big 6-month, 8-month orders to get the discounts not only on the product but on the shipping.
Yeah. So
those were the two big ones.
Yeah, thanks, Shannon. So then last year, were there a lot of projects that weren't getting done in the first quarter, would you say, or
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Not only that, but it raises our overtime because, you know, if you don't have cashiers and people to do the concessions and train, our full-timers are doing that. The majority of our full-timers are zookeepers. So they have to tend to their that's first number one thing. So when you start shifting them around to cover windows or do this, it just results in a ton of overtime, exhausted employees. But across the board this year, we are seeing a lot more applications for all our seasonal positions. First time since COVID that I'm not struggling to get parking attendants. He's got day camp full. Michael's got his seasonals.
Awesome.
So there's a turnaround. But yeah, that's the difference that you're seeing.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions from the board, comments from the board? Very informative.
Yes.
I don't know if the public hadn't seen it, so I don't know if they have comments, so.
It'll get posted after you approve it.
All right.
Or you can table it. I can post it for public comment if you want.
We haven't done that in the past, so.
This doesn't have comment.
Pardon me?
Even if they have comment, they may have a comment, but it's not going to affect.
It's not going to change the date.
Right.
Not going to change the.
All right. What's your pleasure?
So,
That there, public comment?
oh. So I'll make a motion to approve the Park Department's 2025 quarter one report.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the major license agreement, event license agreement for the Zoological Society's 5K run.
Yes, this is a very successful annual event held in Washington Park by the Michigan City Zoo Society. It's a great event. It supports our zoo. Last year, you'll see in their annual report, their net profit was $4,500. It's very well attended. The one thing in the contract that's different from our normal major events is we do ask for free parking for the participants, and also each participant can enter the zoo that day free of charge if they show their race bib. So those are the two things that we kind of give back to make the event successful. But it's a great event, and I highly recommend we approve it again.
Any comments from the board? And any comments from the public? And we would entertain a motion.
I motion to approve the major event license agreement for the Zoo Society's 5K.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The reports from officers, the superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank our administrator, Melissa Moore. She applied for a Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte grant for 7 AEDs, signage, and 2 cabinets. That's a value from healthcare of $13,000, but if we had to purchase those separately outside of their big quantity purchase, it would have been over $17,000. And all of our AEDs have to be replaced this year. They are out of their service life. So congratulations, it was her first grant for the department. And she'll be recognized at an award ceremony on June 3rd at HFL's offices.
June 3rd.
You have to have a ticket. We installed a new food pantry at Water Tower Park on Friday, April 25th. And there's a photo up here. I would like to thank the Carpenters Union. They were the ones that constructed it. City Kids Day Camp painted it. And then Ben Goose Realtors, they contributed $350 to the pantry. I was at the park today, and it was actually self-stocked. So I stocked it the Friday that Pat installed it. And so today I went out there, and there's all different items in there. And I did see somebody pull up. I don't know if she was dropping off or taking something, but it's being used. So that's a great thing. A huge thank you to the street department. If you look at the top 2 photos, that's a tree line at Walker Street Park next to the community garden. A lot of dead trees, brush. The fence was heavily damaged, which the maintenance crew took out. We were bidding this job out. In my estimation, it would have been upwards of $20,000. Street department stepped in, and within a week, they had cleared the whole area. The picture to the right is where it's all cleared out. There's a little bit of wood left that they're going to come back and pick up. They did an amazing job, and I can't thank them enough. And they were even thoughtful enough to grind some of the wood and make some mulch for the garden to use. So great project. Thanks to Sean Smith and Adam and the entire crew for saving us that kind of money and just being like good city partners. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Also, the mayor asked us to purchase a neighborhood cleanup work trailer. And she supplied the funding through the Neighborhood Beautification Program. So we did purchase a trailer, and then Cableland's Ace Hardware came in and donated all the supplies. So that's everything they dropped off. So the trailer will be fully stocked. The intention is organizations can request the trailer, maintenance will drop it off. They can use all the tools and start cleaning up their neighborhoods. Churches, scouts, any group that wants it. The city attorney is working on the checkout agreement right now, but should be a great program and just get people involved and get them out in the community. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you very much, Cable Lens. Last week I spoke at Michigan City Economic Development's Leadership Academy. This is a neighborhood leadership academy, again, to get people involved in their neighborhoods. There's about 34 people enrolled. They go through 8 different meetings and activities. So I was at the first one just talking about park projects, our programs, and answering questions. So that was a good opportunity for us to get out there. And let's see. We finally closed out our hail damage insurance claim this week. So almost a year to the date. Today would have been the year that the storm hit.
Wow.
We had 45 roofs damaged. What?
Crazy.
Your car's gonna get all beat up tonight, Will.
No, my roof is just getting done tomorrow.
So that was a long, arduous process of quotes and like the zoo is always difficult because you have animals in these enclosures. It was bad. And then stuff had to get readjusted 3 or 4 times. The spreadsheets were like monumental. So that's a huge thing off of our.
Pardon me. Was it all paid through insurance?
Yes.
Good.
Yep. It was like 1.2 million, I think, citywide damage. It was a lot. But the majority of it was park. The golf course got hit bad. The zoo got hit bad. Regarding the golf course, Green Superintendent Michael Moore did fill the full-time maintenance labor position on April 17th. So that's good, like much needed manpower that he needs out there. And then lastly, vandalism. We've had quite a bit. Graffiti at the bandstand on the 17th of April cost $90. Graffiti again at the bandstand on May 5th cost $110. Adams Park, someone came in and stripped all the wires and fixtures out of an unused electric panel for scrap, I'm assuming. Really no cost to us other than the labor of going out there, reporting it, submitting the report to me. That is a cost to the department. But cash-wise, it didn't cost us. And then graffiti at Pullman Park, $85. $285 in vandalism since your last meeting doesn't sound like a huge amount, but it was 7 lost labor hours that kills me. You know, that's one crew member working all day in a park that they didn't get to do because they're going around cleaning up after vandals. So we are addressing camera systems with IT as quickly as we can, but I just want to note that it's like, not only are you costing us money, but you're taking away services from other people that actually want to use the parks. So shame on you.
Yes.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Assistant Superintendent's report.
Sorry, just a quick question, Superintendent. You had mentioned camera systems with the at those locations. Is there Wi-Fi access at those locations?
So we're working with IT
internet.
right now on like a beta test program for wireless cameras that we will receive at no cost to us and trying to test them with the school system's fiber network.
Okay.
And they chose us because of the locations of our park.
Okay.
So we would benefit, no long-term cost to us, and we're like, we'll take as many as you can get. So water tower's about to be installed. The infrastructure's there. We're just waiting for them to put the camera up. But yeah, we'll take as many as we can get.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very good. Ready? Okay. So events coming up. Tomorrow night, at Krieger Memorial Hall, there is a pour and paint. Pour and paint. The cost is $25. The signups for that will end at noon tomorrow, so we can set it up. If you're interested, please call in to the Park and Rec office at 219-873-1506. I forgot the number. I'm sorry. And we will happily help you out, or you can always get on the good old auto app and sign up yourself. You like, I toned it down a little bit today, right? I'm just gonna say it 7 more times. On Saturday, this Saturday, May 10th, we're coming back with another bucket golf tour date at Krieger Memorial Hall. Again, the cost to do that is $5. You will be able to pay on site on Saturday, or you can get on the good old auto app and sign up for yours. Drop-in basketball clinics next Wednesday, May 14th at Michigan City High School from 5 to 6:30 p.m. You guessed it. You can sign up on the auto app. And next week, next Thursday, May 15th, we have Bike to City. We will be meeting at the YMCA by the football field. The Michigan City YMCA by the football field at 6 p.m. And that's all the events. I graduated, well, I guess I graduated in 2 weeks from Leadership Laporte. Thank you, Mayor Angie, for putting me in that class this year. I learned a lot about our county. I can count on this hand how many times I've been to South County. South, I usually don't go past too often. I just don't go south. So it was interesting to learn about South County and how government in our county just kind of operates all together. I also went and talked to a 2nd grade classes at Marsh last week. They're learning about government. And today they came to City Hall to take a tour of City Hall, and
5,000 of them unannounced, just pouring into my office.
we definitely did have 2 tours of 2nd graders that filled our office and played with poop. Can we say that?
That's what they were doing.
They played with poop in our it was fake poop.
The most interesting thing in our office to them was your gavel.
Oh, yeah.
And they all had to try it.
One of them took off with it.
But yes, that's all I have for events and updates for this week.
Thank you.
I have a question for Mr. Walker. Did you guys do the true colors at the Leadership Laporte County?
I am a true orange.
True orange.
I got a whole lot of energy.
I never would have guessed that.
And I'm spontaneous in a mud.
I never would have guessed that.
And a little unorganized.
Unbelievable.
I never would have guessed true orange.
And my room's messy.
Don't catch that too. Look at my messy space and her neat space.
But we both get stuff done.
That's what I said. We're all different kids.
Yeah.
Get it done however you get it done.
The Plan Commission liaison, Mr. Hoffman.
Our next meeting is May 27th, sir. But this is May, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I am the liaison to the Port Authority, and they met on Monday night, but they didn't speak about anything directly related to the parks. Mr. Labus, Zoological Society.
Yeah, Zoological Society meets next Tuesday at 5:30 across the street from the zoo at the Pavilion. The subjects that we'll be talking about will be the 5K, the Brew, the Apple Orchard, historical tour of the zoo, and fundraiser and more, if anyone's interested.
Thank you. Attorney's report.
Thank you. I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Department of Finances, Mrs. Sperling.
Yes, thank you. Okay, tonight for the claims docket on May 7th, we have municipal $287,566.52. Golf petty cash $2,682.95. Total claims $290,249.47. And I move that we pay our claims.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Payroll number 8 from March 30th to April 12th, paid April 17th. Total payroll $85,595.76. I move that we pay our people.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And payroll number 9 from April 13th to April 26th, paid May 2nd. Total payroll $96,294.25. I move that we pay our people for this payroll as well.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Now we have gifts and donations. Unknown, zoo donation miscellaneous, $58. Mateys donation, YBL team sponsorship, $400. Bubbles Ice Cream Parlor donation, YBL team sponsorship, $400. And Wix.com, zoo donations miscellaneous online, $613.50. I move that we accept these gifts and donations and thank you.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Minor transfers, none. Zoo endowment invoices totaling $3,024.03 were paid to Lowe's for the avian and barnyard fence repairs. I move that we accept this invoice.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Board of Works, nothing. And credit card charges. Credit card charges totaling $4,812.45 were paid to corporate payment systems for the following. BaseballSavings.com for youth baseball catcher's gear, $401.10. Peterson Furniture International for drop leaf hardware tables at Senior Center, $182. IN.gov Zoo Safari Train annual permit, $157.51. At Five Below, water tower ribbon cutting giveaways, $199.02. At Five Below, Lorcan the Leprechaun giveaways, $114.97. IN.gov, Memorial Hall entertainment permit, $146.60. And Beacon Athletics, movable mounds for Patriot Park, $3,611.25. I move that we accept these credit card charges.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Are there any comments from the public?
Hello, Board. Scott Melland, 200 Kendall Place. First, I'd like to second Shannon's shout out to the street department. Kudos for helping with that. That's really great governmental, intergovernmental assistance. That's good stuff. I'd also like to have a real shout out for Shannon herself. I don't know a more dynamic park superintendent that I could imagine in that position. She does a lot of stuff, and I think she does it really, really well. And I think but there's a lot of good people in the department doing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Now to get to the meat of the minute. Since the park board has determined that the Millennium Park fountain has to be removed, I just wonder what the after plan is for the plaza. And the plan for the bricks, the memorial bricks. I know there are probably some families that would want their bricks back if they could, or if we're going to make another placement of them. And final comment is on that appraisal of the North Point Pavilion, I would point out the value would probably be affected greatly that it's a paid lot to get to them. They don't really have any free parking, so that would, similar to the state park, I suppose, but there are other venues, say New Buffalo, where there is free parking, so that probably affect the value there. But yeah, I'm sure there are people in the public who very much want to know about those bricks.
So the plan for the fountain is to demolish it, but then put pavers in where it was. So the memorial bricks will not be affected. The ones that are too close to the area of demolition will just be placed further out into the circle. And we haven't decided, are we going, my thought is, I don't want to see new bricks that are exactly the same that don't match because the older ones are faded. So we may put some type of a pattern. But yes, the memorial bricks definitely will be preserved. They may be moved for some time just to keep them safe.
Great. Thank you. I think people want to know about those in particular. Thank you very much. And keep up the good work. It really there's a lot of good stuff. I can't believe how busy this parks department is and how much programming they're doing. Will, you're doing a great job, but I've already said that once before. I think Shannon really needs a shout out today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
I have one quick comment. I just wanted to note that in the credit card charges, the almost $200 for water tower ribbon cutting, that is being funded through Jones, Petrie, Rafinsky, and Hitchcock Design Group, who both designed the project. So they gave us each $500 donation to support the ribbon cutting. So all the supplies, there'll be free food. So that was a great donation. I thank them for that. Just wanted to let you know. That's what it was for.
Thank you. Any comments from the board?
Yes. And in all of the meetings that I'm attending, I've been trying to end all of the meetings on a positive note. This time, Scott beat me to it regarding the park department. And like I said, every meeting, council meeting, whichever meeting I'm sitting, I'm trying to end on a positive note to get positive vibes out there in our community. I go onto Facebook pages and I see nothing but negativity. Even when we're building new housing and anything that's going on around the city, it's negativity. So I'm trying to talk about some of the positive things that are happening. And I just want the people out there to know that things happen here in this meeting and it all looks very smooth. From the board to everybody that works with the park department, everything looks very smooth the way it runs. But there is a lot going on, as he stated. These people are very busy and they really take this serious to make this run. There's so many different moving parts within the park department, the zoo, and then when we start the summer and people are out there and you have to fish people out of the lake, swimming and the golf course, there is a lot going on. And these people really come together to make this very functional, very efficient department. And I just wanted to shout out everybody who has something to do with what goes on here in the park department.
Thank you, Mr. Dabney. Anything else? I think we're ready to adjourn, but I need
So moved, Mr. President.
so let it be written.
That kid's,